Alrighty. So, with the fallout of last week's card, Erin Blanchfield, Rose Namajunas. I talked a lot about Erin Blanchfield. But we are going to talk about Rose Namajunas. What's next for her? Should she take some time off? She didn't really take too much damage in that fight. Now, a lot of people are saying she's washed. I don't think that's the case. If you want to say that, yeah, her mentality can sometimes get the better of her, like the second Carla Esparza fight, absolutely. And her career has an amazing rhythm. Beats a dominant champ twice, loses to a freak loss, beats the dominant champ twice again, gets in her own head, moves to a size bigger, and puts on a fight where she has two close fights with Blanchfield and Fiorat, and Fiorat, Manon Fiorat. I call her Miorat now. But I'm going to probably use that in the future. But she also beats Amanda Ribas and then demolishes Tracy Cortez. I think that's a well put together resume that shows that, yeah, okay, is the flyweight title in the future for her? I don't know, because I do know that Valentina Shevchenko versus Rose would be a very compelling matchup, but she's got to earn her way back, right? Like if Valentina Shevchenko with her new wrestle heavy style took down Rose Namajunas, or even better yet, Erin Blanchfield, what would happen with the submissions from the bottom? That's all I'm saying. But at the end of the day, these things unfortunately go down, and she came up short. And the sad part is she could have won that Blanchfield fight. She just kind of, Erin figured her out later in the fight and played her cards right and came back. And it showed that Erin is not a front runner by any chance. She doesn't get demoralized. She doesn't quit. But the internet overall has a really great way of trying to hop on the losing fighter's radar, especially if it's Rose Namajunas, because a lot of people criticize her relationship with Pat Barry. They're wondering where Trevor Whitman is. Hey, man, I think Trevor Whitman's an amazing coach, and I think that she'd be better off with Trevor in that corner. But she still showed her best self in this fight, ironically. Was the best that she could possibly muster up at this age good enough to get for the title? Unfortunately not, but I think we're still going to see her in the future of the UFC in the flyweight division. Probably be a gatekeeper, or at least win enough fights, and then probably think about making one last run at the title. Falls short again, maybe time to hang it up. But it's all going to depend on how her mentality is coming back. Is she going to be mentally strong when she makes whatever return she wants to make? That's what's going to be the defining factor. She always gets in her head. So it's just going to make a difference. Is the hanging up of the gloves going to happen later, or is it going to happen now? It's going to happen now if she comes back and she comes in with analysis paralysis just like she did with that Carla Esparza rematch. That's just the reality of the situation. Now, obviously, I would prefer to have Trevor Whitman in her camp and in her corner all the time, because that was when she was at her absolute best. You know, when it's just really her and Pat Barry out there, I can see where the concerns for the fans are, you know? So it would be honestly in her best interest to keep Trevor Whitman close, to clear her head, go see a sports psychologist just to make sure before she goes back in there, and then maybe do a few more fights, see where we go from there. But is she finished? No. But it is certain she's been around for a long time. And as many victories as she's had, I could say that you're not going to be that young forever, and father time catches everybody. So is her prime done? I would absolutely say at this point, yeah. And she might have to make some stylistic changes, just like we saw with Valentina Shevchenko in her last title fight, where she was very wrestle heavy. Is it the most exciting to see? Not necessarily, but I mean, if she wants to continue to service the fans and give the fans of hers one last hurrah, it might actually be worth taking into consideration. But I think, honestly, she would be a good bounce-back fight for Maycee Barber. I think Maycee Barber would probably beat her if she came back more aggressive, because you know when Maycee Barber comes back, she's going to be way hungrier. So she's probably going to want to avoid Maycee. But she is going to want to come back and maybe face, someone else, of lower status, because Maycee's going to want to get a win, and I feel like Maycee's going to be very dangerous when she comes back. So if you want to see Rose win for sure, and you want to see Maycee get momentum back for sure, keep those two separate until they both get momentum, and then they could clash. But until then, we'll see where it goes. Peace out. See you on the next one.